Today's briefing: fresh 0 days in Microsoft Defender under active exploitation, a cross-platform espionage push against telecoms, and a growing pattern of attackers abusing trusted paths. Here's what matters now and what defenders can do about it. Before we dive in, a quick pulse check on the week's trends. Reports of active exploitation continue to climb, and multiple vendors are issuing patches or advisories to close newly disclosed gaps. The operational signal is clear: shorten patch cycles where feasible and validate coverage, because the window between disclosure and exploitation is narrowing. First, Microsoft warns of new Defender 0 days exploited in attacks. On Wednesday, Microsoft began rolling out security updates for 2 Microsoft Defender vulnerabilities that have already been used in 0-day attacks. This is the latest development in an ongoing issue we've been tracking, with attackers probing endpoint protections themselves to gain a foothold or cause disruption. The key facts: there are 2 distinct Defender flaws, they are under active exploitation, and patches are now in distribution. Why it matters: when exploitation is already happening, the likelihood of immediate real-world impact rises, and defenders have less time to react. The Defender takeaway: accelerate deployment of the latest Defender updates across managed fleets. Verify successful installation via your endpoint management and security telemetry, and watch for signs of Defender service instability or tampering as you roll out fixes. Prioritize high-risk assets and exposed endpoints, and document exceptions so you can close remaining gaps quickly. Second, Microsoft warns of 2 actively exploited Defender vulnerabilities, including a privilege escalation tracked as CVE-2026-41091 and a denial of service issue. Microsoft rates the privilege escalation at 7.8 on CVSS, noting it stems from improper link resolution before file access, often described as link following. Successful exploitation could grant an attacker system-level privileges. The key facts: 2 Defender vulnerabilities, both actively exploited. One allows elevation to system. The underlying issue involves unsafe link handling. Why it matters: the combination of active exploitation and potential system access makes post-exploitation activity faster and stealthier, compressing Defender response time. The Defender takeaway: in addition to patching, harden your least privilege posture and tighten controls around file system permissions where security tooling operates. Monitor for unusual service restarts, Defender configuration changes, or unexpected file lake creations in sensitive directories. Review EDR detections tied to privilege escalation and ensure high-fidelity alerts route to humans for rapid triage. A Threats Day bulletin highlights Linux rootkits, a router 0 day, AI intrusions, scam kits, and more. 25 new stories in total. But the through line is what matters. Adversaries are increasingly abusing the components we already trust. Token leaks, poisoned packages, login tricks, and the reappearance of old tools blend into routine operations because they ride on updates, apps, cloud controls, support channels, and trusted accounts. The key facts: rather than only breaking in, attackers are walking through trusted pathways. The surface now includes routine updates, third-party packages, and everyday admin flows. AI misuse is part of the picture. Why it matters: confirmed exposure or compromise in these channels shifts risk for organizations, customers, and downstream partners, and blurs the line between normal and malicious activity. The Defender takeaway: strengthen trust boundaries, enforce rigorous package and update validation, apply least privilege to tokens and service principals, and enable phishing-resistant MFA on all admin and support workflows. Instrument monitoring to baseline normal behavior for updates and automation, then alert on deviations like unusual package sources, consent grants, or mass token activity. Treat support channels and cloud buttons with the same scrutiny as external entry points. Fourth, Chinese hackers target telcos with new Linux and Windows malware. A cyber-espionage campaign is focusing on telecommunications providers using 2 newly observed families: Showboat on Linux and JFMBackdoor on Windows. This continues an ongoing trend we've been following, where telecom infrastructure is a priority target because of its reach, data sensitivity, and potential for persistent access. The key facts: cross-platform tooling, Linux and Windows payloads, and a sector-specific focus on telecommunications. Why it matters: telecom environments span mixed operating systems and high-availability networks, giving attackers multiple footholds and pathways for lateral movement, data collection, and long-term persistence. The Defender takeaway: telcos and any organization with carrier-grade or multi-tenant network infrastructure should run targeted hunts across both Linux servers and Windows endpoints for anomalous services, new persistence mechanisms, and suspicious outbound connections. Tighten segmentation between management planes and customer traffic, review remote access pathways, and ensure that egress controls and DNS logging can surface command and control tailors. Admin flows and security tools themselves. Share this briefing with your incident response and operations leads, and subscribe for the next operational rundown so your team stays a step ahead.